Okay, for this part of the activity, folks, what's going to be driving this is this on-ramp right here that is the site of the accident. The first thing you need to do is select this on-ramp. To select it, you use your Identify tool, and then you click on the ramp to select it, and then you need to right-click on the name of the ramp, and give your computer time to select it. And once you have it right-clicked, you choose Select so that this ramp is selected. You then need to go to your Streets layer, and you need to right-click and choose to export this data set. You will name this data set Incident and click Save. And it will ask, do you want to add it to the program, and you're going to say yes, I do. Once it's added, you need to deselect all features, and now we want to create symbolize it so that it gets a clear sign of the scene. The next thing we need to do is try to do the multiple ring buffer, which I hope will work for your program. You'll find the multiple ring buffer in the ARC toolbox in the analysis section. So it might take your computer a few minutes to identify the toolbox. Once the toolbox is selected, choose Analysis, Proximity, and then see the option for the multiple ring buffer. The input feature is going to be the incident. The name of the file is going to be buffer, or buffer1 or buffer2 if you need to, and then you're going to need to enter in the distances. The distances for this are 0.5 miles, so you got to add it and then push plus. Going to make sure that it picked up my 0.5, 0.5, and 1.0. And once you see those here, you then need to change your units from the default to miles. And then at the bottom you want to choose to dissolve, to have no dissolve, so choose none. Click OK, and you should see the clip working. I'm sorry, the buffer working, not the clip. Okay, if your buffer works, it should look like this. If you find that you're having difficulty creating the multiple ring buffer, you can download it at Blackboard under course content titled Good Buffer. So now that we have the good buffer, we can now clip out the things that we need for our evacuation. So in this task, we want to clip out the schools. The clip tool is under Geoprocessing, Clip. The input features are the features you want to clip out and separate. So we want to choose our schools. The feature clipping them out is going to be our multiple ring buffer. Once you select that, you click OK, and in a moment we should get a new layer of schools. And so notice if we turn off schools, we're now isolated to 6 schools that can serve as our evacuation schools. The next piece of what we're going to do is we're going to clip out all the buildings that we need. To do this, we need to add the building layer. The building layer is going to be in the folder for Springfield. And you will see under Springfield Data, under Additional Layers, the folder for buildings. Now the project wants us to figure out which buildings are single family houses. So we need to select our single family houses. To do that, go to Selection by Attribute. Make sure that you are using the layer Buildings. Choose Type equals, Get Unique Values, choose SFR. Choose Apply and notice all of our single family residences get selected. We now need to choose our 0.5 multiple ring buffer because that's the evacuation zone. To select that, I recommend right-clicking on the multiple buffer, open the attribute table, and find the one that is 0.5. And to do that, you may have to go all the way to the far right to find your 0.5 distance. So notice that right here. And I'm going to select that buffer. This is going to drive the whole process. So if you look at the map now, we have the 0.5 ring buffer and we have single family residences selected. We're going to go back to our clip tool and we're going to choose our buildings to be our input. We're going to choose our clip feature to be our multiple ring buffer again, and it will recognize our buildings that are selected. Click OK and run it. Once it's added, if we turn off our building layer, notice that we have isolated the event, and this is really the power of GIS. We have 6 possible schools that can serve as evacuation schools. We know all the houses that are within the distance of the accident that need to be evacuated. And that is how you do this part of the activity.